You're the person people call when their life falls apart. You're the one who sees through the noise before anyone else does. You understand people, sometimes better than they understand themselves. And yet, somehow you are the one sitting alone at the end of the night. Not because nobody wanted you, but because nobody could reach you. Not really, not all the way. And the most painful part is not the loneliness itself. It is that you understand exactly why it is happening. You can see the whole mechanism, you can name every part of it, and you still cannot stop it. That is not irony. That is the specific cruelty of being genuinely intelligent in a world that celebrates intelligence, but has no idea what to do with the person who actually carries it. Intelligence is one of the most misunderstood human traits in existence. We celebrate it academically, we reward it professionally, we romanticize it in film and literature, but we almost never talk honestly about what it actually costs, what it does to relationships, what it does to the quiet hours of a life lived inside a mind that never fully stops. Because the research on this is clear and it is uncomfortable. The more cognitively complex a person is, the harder genuine human connection becomes. Not impossible, but harder, structurally harder, in ways that have nothing to do with social skill or effort or how much you want to connect. And understanding exactly why, that is what changes everything. The first thing you need to understand is what psychologists call the similarity attraction effect. Decades of research confirm that humans are most strongly drawn to people who think and feel the way they do. Not identical people, but people whose internal world resembles their own closely enough to create the feeling of being genuinely understood. This is not preference, this is neurological. When you encounter someone whose worldview mirrors yours, your brain releases oxytocin, the same bonding chemical released between mothers and newborns, between longtime friends, between people in love. You feel safe, you feel seen, you feel at home. Now here's the problem. The more cognitively complex your internal world is, the more nuanced your thinking, the more layered your emotional processing, the more precise your standards for what genuine understanding actually feels like, the smaller the pool of people whose internal world resembles yours closely enough to trigger that response. You're not being elitist, you're not being difficult. Your nervous system is simply doing what every nervous system does, searching for resonance and finding it less often than most people do. Every room you walk into contains fewer people who can meet you where you actually live, and you feel that every single time. But it goes deeper than similarity, because intelligent people don't just think differently, they experience time differently. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi spent decades researching what he called the autotelic personality, people whose primary source of reward comes from within, from the work itself, from the thinking itself, from the internal experience of engaging deeply with ideas, problems, questions. His research found something striking. People with this trait require significantly less external stimulation to feel fulfilled than the average person. They can spend hours alone inside their own minds and feel more alive than most people do in a crowd. And this creates a paradox that slowly hollows out their social lives without them fully realizing it. Because the same internal richness that makes solitude bearable, even pleasurable, also raises the bar for what social interaction needs to offer before it feels worth the energy. Small talk doesn't just bore intelligent people, it actively costs them. It drains the same cognitive and emotional resources they use for the internal work they find genuinely meaningful. So they withdraw, not dramatically, not deliberately, but gradually, choosing the book over the party, the conversation with one over the noise of many, the quiet evening over the social obligation. And the world interprets this as coldness, as arrogance, as not caring. when the truth is almost exactly the opposite. They care so much about genuine connection that they'd rather have none at all than settle for the performance of it. There's a third layer to this, and it is the one that causes the most damage, silently, over years. Psychologist Elaine Aron's research on what she called the highly sensitive person identified a trait present in approximately 20% of the population, a nervous system that processes emotional and sensory information more deeply than average. Not more emotionally, more deeply, more precisely, with more layers of meaning extracted from every interaction, every tone of voice, every unspoken tension in a room. Aron's research found a significant overlap between high sensitivity and high intelligence, not universal, but consistent enough to matter. And what this means in practice is devastating in its simplicity. The intelligent, sensitive person doesn't just notice more, they are hurt more. Betrayal lands harder, disappointment cuts deeper, the memory of being misunderstood stays longer. And because they process everything more precisely, they also see, faster than most, when a relationship is not what it appears to be, when someone's words and intentions don't align, when the warmth being offered is conditional, when the connection they thought they had was actually something smaller. This is not paranoia, this is pattern recognition applied to human behavior, and it leads over time to a kind of preemptive withdrawal. Why get close when you can already see how it ends? Why invest when the return has never been worth the cost? Why try again when your own mind shows you with devastating clarity exactly how this goes? The intelligence that makes them exceptional in so many areas becomes the exact mechanism that keeps them isolated. They think themselves out of love before it has a chance to begin. And then there's the deepest layer of all, the one nobody ever names. Smart people are lonely not just because they think differently or feel more deeply or see farther, but because they have spent their entire lives being told, implicitly and explicitly, that their way of experiencing the world is too much, too intense, too analytical, too serious, too in their head, too everything. And they learned early, efficiently, the way intelligent people learn everything, to manage that, to modulate, to make themselves more palatable, more accessible, more comfortable for the people around them, to perform a simpler version of themselves in social situations because the full version cleared rooms. And the terrible irony is that this performance, designed to create connection, destroys it. Because you cannot be genuinely known by someone who has never ever met your edited version. You cannot feel truly seen by someone you have never truly shown yourself to. The connection that intelligent people crave most, the kind that reaches the actual depth of who they are, is the exact kind they have learned to make impossible. They are lonely because they are hiding. And they are hiding because every time they stopped hiding, something in the room shifted. And they noticed, because of course they noticed. They notice everything. Here's the honest truth about why smart people end up alone. It's not because they are superior or incapable or broken or cursed. It's because intelligence, real intelligence, the kind that goes all the way down, makes the standard for genuine connection higher, the cost of shallow connection steeper, and the pain of being misunderstood more precise and more memorable than it is for almost anyone else. The loneliness is not a flaw, it is a consequence of being built in a way that makes depth non-negotiable and performance unsustainable. And the cruelest part is this: the very capacity that makes them most deserving of profound connection is the same capacity that makes it hardest to find. The mind that could love most deeply is the one most often found loving alone. That is not a tragedy to be fixed, it is a truth to be understood. And understanding it fully, honestly, without the comfort of easy answers, is the only thing that has ever changed anything real. This is what psychology looks like when it takes intelligence seriously. Not as a superpower, not as a gift, as a complete human experience with its costs and its contradictions and its particular kind of loneliness. New video every week on Sophix, the science of what's actually happening underneath. If that's the conversation you want, subscribe. I'll see you next week.